Hello everybody. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to tell you the story. As I'm telling you a story, think about how you see yourself in the story and what your favorite part of the story might be. Once, in the great city of Ur, there lived a girl named Sarai. In that same city, there lived a boy named Abram. Sarai and Abram met, and they fell in love. They traveled to many new places. God showed them the way. All their lives they lived in tents. Sarai was beautiful. Even in her old age, she was so beautiful. Their travels led them to Egypt. In Egypt, there was a king. They called him the Pharaoh. He saw Sarai and thought she was so beautiful, so much that he wanted her for himself. When he found out that Sarai was Abram's wife, he was so upset. He banned them from Egypt and told them to leave. Abram and Sarai had been married for a long time, but they had no children. God promised that someday they would have a great big family. But they wondered, how could they have a great big family with no children? Sarai began to worry. So much so that she told Abram to take a second wife. That was a custom back in those days. Hagar was Sarai's helper. She became Abram's second wife. When Hagar was about to have a baby, Sarai became very angry. She wanted to be the mother. She always wanted to be a mother. Hagar was scared and she ran into the wilderness. The angel of the Lord found Hagar. He found her by a spring of water. He told Hagar that she would have a son and she would name him Ishmael. She went back and Ishmael was born. Many years went by and God appeared to Abram. God said to him, "We will be together forever." God also blessed Sarai and promised to give her a son of her own. So Abram and Sarai became Sarah and Abraham. Three strangers came out of the desert. The strangers said, "In the spring of the year, God will bless Sarah and she will have a son." Abraham laughed. Sarah was too young, too old to have a child. Sarah laughed too. The strangers heard and they said, "Sarah, are you laughing?" Sarah said no. She was afraid for some reason. Sarah did indeed have a son. She named her son Isaac. Sometime later, Sarah saw Ishmael, Hagar's son, playing with Isaac. She grew angry all over again. And she told Abraham to send them away. The next morning, Abraham gave Hagar and Ishmael some bread and water. Hagar put Ishmael under a bush and walked far away so she wouldn't have to watch him die. The baby began to cry, and God heard him. An angel came to Hagar and told her to open her eyes. When she did, she saw a well of water. Hagar and Ishmael drank the water and they lived. Their family still lives today. One day, Sarah watched Abraham and Isaac go away. They were going to Mount Moriah. She watched from the inside of the tent as they left, and the next day she watched for them again, and the next again. A week passed and they didn't return. She watched every day for them. Finally, one day, they came back. They were back home. It was so good to have them again. She was so happy. Then Sarah, full of many years, died. Abraham buried her in a cave. At the end of his new field by the trees, Isaac grew from a young boy to a man and married Rebekah, and they had twins, and the great family began to grow. I wonder what part of the story you like best. I wonder what part of the story is most important to you. I wonder what part is about you or is especially for you. I wonder if we can leave out any of the story and still have all that we need. Sarah, Abraham, Hagar, Ishmael, Isaac. The tent that kept them sheltered all those years through all their travels. The spring of water that gave Hagar life and hope. The sack of food that kept her and Ishmael alive. And the cave where Sarah was laid to rest. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.